Now, the 15th Amendment, it gives African American males the right of suffrage. Now, suffrage means the right to vote. Now, you'll hear this word come up later on in future lessons, especially the women's suffrage. Um, just keep that in the back of your head that the word suffrage means to vote. Okay. Now, the 15th Amendment passes, and almost immediately, African Americans start running for office. A lot of them get local office positions, aldermen's, mayors, governors, things like that. But then some get in the higher levels in their state, state legislature. There's even some who made it to the House of Representatives, and there were even two African Americans who served in the Senate. Now, to have the vote was huge, absolutely huge to African Americans back then, because that basically meant you are a part of this country and your word means something. Now, the other thing that was highly important and truly valued to newly freed slaves in the South was an education. Now, a lot of Northern charities helped establish schools for African Americans all across the South. So there were schools popping up all kinds of places in the South. Now, by 1876, about 40% of African American children were enrolled in school. Okay, because they knew that when they were slaves, they weren't allowed to read. It was actually outlawed for an African American to read or be taught. Because again, they didn't want them to think, they didn't want them to basically know anything except how to work. Okay, so the newly freed slaves, they knew that education was vital in order for their children to succeed in life. So their children and grandchildren could move on and prosper more than they can or could. So education was truly highly valued. The third thing that they really, really valued was church. And so African Americans were able to establish their own churches. Now, these churches served as a center for their communities. That's where sometimes they held school, classes. They had social events, political gatherings were held there. Um, and the thing is, that was the hub, the center of their communities. And the thing is, they truly, 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 truly valued their faith. Now, alongside African Americans, there were some Southern-born Northerners who joined with the African Americans to establish a Republican government in the South. Now, these Northerners, like I said, they were born in the South, but they were raised in the North, and so they came back down to the South. Now, the thing is, they set up taxes in order to pay for the rebuilding of the South. There was a lot to be rebuilt, okay? But the thing is, they wanted to create state hospitals and institutions for orphans. Now, if there are orphans, a lot of the time they lost their parents from illnesses, the war, whatever it may be, you know. So instead of leaving them homeless out in the street or out in the middle of nowhere, fending for themselves, there's a place where these kids can be, where they can get an education, or maybe somebody might want them, adopt them, things like that. Um, but at the very least, they'll be taken care of. Now, like I said, not everybody liked this. There were some, I'll say many, Southern white men who hated the reformation of their state. They didn't like the fact that African Americans were getting help from the Freedmen Bureau, that they were getting food, clothing, um, getting help finding jobs, that they had the vote, that they were now citizens, that they were now free and no longer slaves, um, that they had schools, churches, and now hospitals and orphanage institutions. Um, they didn't like that. Now, I know some of you guys may be thinking, why would somebody hate hospitals and a place for orphans? The thing is, they didn't hate it particularly just because of what it was. They hated the fact that African Americans could actually use it. That's why they didn't want it. That's why they didn't like it. Okay. Now, many of the southern states, they had to borrow money in order to pay for everything. There was already a high property tax, and those taxes were used to repair buildings and property and to support the new programs. Now, here's the thing. Going back to what I was saying earlier in the other video, a lot of people, plantation owners who owned a lot of land, they couldn't pay for their taxes. Now, a small farm owner, they probably could, you know, so they could, do it, maybe not easily, but enough that they can pay it and be okay. But a large plantation owner who, let's say they didn't want to hire slaves, they wanted them free, or say former slaves, they didn't want to hire them. Um, there's a lot of land they had. And if no one's picking the field or not using the field, it's just going to waste. So this basically forced some of them to sell their land. Now, here's the problem. If a small farm owner who paid the taxes, who really doesn't have enough to buy more land or buy at the price that the plantation owner wants, um, they're not going to sell that land and they're going to go into debt. Now, here's the thing that really sucks. When you go into debt, and eventually the bank is going to seize, the bank or the government is going to seize your property, and they're going to leave you basically with some debt because they're not going to give you the full value of whatever they're taking, you know. So let's say they repossess your car, something like that, or they take whatever part of your land, whatever thing you own. They're not going to give you, if you paid it $120 for something, they're not going to give you $120. They'll probably give you 40, maybe 60. They're not going to give you 100. Okay. Now with this, there was a lot of Southern white men who were becoming more vengeful. They wanted revenge. They wanted to seek um, somebody to pay for their, in a sense, demise and for them losing what they once had. Now, a lot of these white Southerners, they started forming little groups. Now, there's one particular group. It became a secret society, and it started in 1866. And their main purpose was to undermine the Republican rule in the South and to intimidate and attack African Americans. Now, this group, the largest one of them all, became known as the Ku Klux Klan. Now, they started off as a bunch of former Confederate soldiers in Pulaski, Tennessee. Now, I'm sure some of you guys may be wondering, why are they wearing the pointed hoods and all that stuff? The thing is, they are representing ghost, Confederate ghost soldiers who died during the Civil War. And these guys are upset, quote unquote, upset that the African Americans are now free. They are citizens of this country now, and they have the right to vote. So that's why they dress up as a hoods and all that stuff, because they're trying to basically, um, they're representing old Confederate soldiers. Now the thing is, there's a couple misconceptions about the KKK and people back then Okay, one of the first ones is that the Ku Klux Klan just attacked African Americans. That's true, but it's not true. They didn't just attack them. They attacked other people. They attacked white Republicans. They attacked the carpetbaggers that we talked about earlier. They attacked teachers at African American schools and anyone who supported the Republican government. So, teachers at African American schools, so chances are they may, if I was back then, they probably would have attacked me because I teach African American students. Um, and, you know, they didn't want, again, African Americans, children, or anybody African American to be educated. Now, another misconception is that the African Americans just laid back and did nothing to fight back. That's not true. Now, the white Republicans, and the African Americans basically teamed up to form a militia to fight back. Now, later on, either in the next lesson or the one after, but soon, I'll be talking about why all of a sudden they stopped. Okay. Now, Congress tried to do some stuff. They passed three enforcement acts, um, the 1870 and 1871. Now, they basically outlawed activity by the Klan, right? But here's the thing, a lot of the people they appointed to be sheriffs and deputies and some of that in the South were, majority of the time, they were Klansmen. And the thing is, they really didn't arrest all kinds of people. But the thing is, to kind of show, hey, we are doing our job, there were about 3,000 Klansmen who were arrested. But here's the problem. Only a couple hundred were actually convicted and served time in prison. The rest of them got away, either through technicality, not enough evidence, um, whatever other type of issues there may be, an alibi. So yeah, they had the numbers of people bringing in, but to actually convict them, it was very low. Now, here's the thing about these hate groups and people who say horrible things online. Um, they are basically protected by the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. That's why they can have websites. They can say stuff on Twitter. Um, my question to you is this. Do you believe that all, some, or no hate speech or hate groups should be protected by the First Amendment? Why or why not? Justify your answer. So the writing prompt is, I believe that, you some, all, no, none of the hate groups or speech should be protected by the First Amendment because, and finish it off. Okay. Now, remember, hate speech is not just towards African Americans, it's to any group, you know. So think about yourself as well when when you write this. Have you ever said anything negative about a particular race, made a joke, and that you yourself, it was, if it was flipped, where they were talking about your race or um, a race that's connected to you somehow, or a race that you care about, how would you react? So think about that too. You know, when is a joke too far? When is saying something? Oh, I was just joking. When is it? Was it really joking, or did you mean it partially, or did somebody else mean it as a joke or partially? Um, so think about that as you write. Okay. Now, once you're finished, be sure you have your name on the paper, and then when you come into class, be sure you turn it into the black basket next to the door. So that's the end of this lesson and video. I hope you guys have a good day.